Just finished West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 2. I don't know why I've got this in. I was listening to Charlie. Even before Crystal Palace scored in the last minute, I was not happy. I went half-time, went to Charlie, I told him I'm pissed off with that first half. The second half, we were just as bad. And Palace deserved to win. We got what we deserved. Palace deserved to win that game. Good goal by Olise at the end. Takes a deflection. I don't really care, to be honest with you. They deserved that. This is just... That was ridiculously... Honestly, we were shit today. From the first minute to the last, we were crap. There's very little to be positive about today's game. At half-time, we went in 1-1. We're fortunate to be 1-1. We didn't deserve to be. It's because Benrahma scored a fantastic goal. That was it. There was nothing else that happened. We played the same tactics today at home to Crystal Palace, with respect to Crystal Palace here, okay? I don't want Palace fans picking this up wrong. You deserve the win. We'll say nice things about you. But we played the same tactics today at home to Crystal Palace as we've just done away to Man U and Liverpool. Moyes is treating at home to Palace the same as he does away to Liverpool at Anfield. What's that about? What is that all about? It was just dreadful from start to finish today. Not good enough whatsoever. And this one's on at the manager's door. Was the players good enough today? No, they weren't. Half the players today didn't even bother turning up. But he got the tactics wrong. I would argue he got this team selection wrong in the first place. There was a couple of players I don't think should have started. And after, with the benefit of hindsight, after witnessing them for 9 minutes, I still don't think they should have started. So the manager got the tactics wrong, team selection wrong, got the substitutions wrong. He didn't get much right today, David Moyes. But that was an embarrassment out there. All that fans that's gone there today, the pissing wet cold, the atmosphere's been crap all season, the football's been crap all season. They turn up again today to be served up that. It's not good enough. It is absolutely... I'm trying to stay calm, believe it or not, because we do these reviews straight after full time. Emotionally, you're at your peak then. But never mind losing the game, but losing it in the 95th minute or whatever it is always going to annoy even more. But I was pissed off at halftime, and we deserved to lose that game. We got what we deserved. Moyes got what he deserved today. It is not good enough whatsoever. Anyway, I'm going to try and discuss the highlights in a calmer manner. But how are you supposed to after that? How are you supposed to try and sit down and talk about the game in a calm manner? I'm not calm at all. I know I am pissed off. But the first half was just dreadful. There was nothing to be positive about. We were terrified of Crystal Palace. Whenever they got the ball, we retreated right back to the 18-yarder. Rice and Souček were never more than 5 yards away from Dawson and Kurt Zouma. We just let Crystal Palace play, and they played some good football. Palace were, well, I should say we were fortunate. Palace's finishing isn't quite good enough that they weren't quite making the right decisions in the final third. But we got off with it. It went in 1-1 at half-time. Great goal by Said Benrahma. I mean, Zaha's goal, flipping hell. You know, it's just Taylor Kerr and Craig Dawson, mainly Craig Dawson, actually. That pass to Kerr is ridiculous. The pace on it was unnecessary, and it was half a yard behind him. So Kerr was on the reach already. Is the first touch good enough from Kerr? No, it's not. But he's only acting like that because of what the pass was from Craig Dawson. Crap pass, poor first touch. Then Eze gives it to Zaha in the back of the net, and they deserved it. And Crystal Palace didn't deserve to be behind today at any point. They didn't deserve it. But anytime we strung a few passes together in the first half, went back to Fabianski, who just belted it long. Skamaka, I'm not hoping Hal's chance of doing anything today. He was not good. He wasn't interested today. You could see him get pissed off. At one point, Skamaka was trying to make tackles, 2 yards outside our own box, at home to Crystal Palace. And our striker is back defending, trying to tackle Jordan Ayew. It's just... It's just not good enough. It's really not good enough. That was horrendous. This is the most pissed off I've been at all this season, because there's always been sort of excuses or reasons for this, that, and the other. But coming into today's game, the boys that started today's 11 changes. The 11 that started today didn't play a minute. They didn't even go to Romania. They stayed in London. They've had a week on the training ground in London, which has been rare this season because of the Conference League. Well, there's none of that now. I'm not having European football as an excuse for today. There's no excuses for that performance. Well, there is actually. The dugout, the man in the dugout, he's the reason for that performance out there today. In the second half, I mean, at half-time, Scamacca comes off. Has he done well in the first half? No. But the tactics are dreadful. How was Scamacca meant to perform with that setup? Anyway, he didn't do enough, though. So Antonio comes on. Not ideal. But the same thing happens. Now Antonio's struggling up front under these tactics. He makes one change. Off comes Scamacca. On goes Antonio. Well, that's not going to do anything. It was almost like Moyes was saying, "Oh, the reason we're not playing well enough this half is because the performance of..." It's not the performance of Scamacca. It's the performance of what you allow the players to do under your tactics. It's because you keep picking one or two players that probably shouldn't be starting are starting, and they're not performing well enough. That's the reason we're struggling in the first half. But he kept the same tactics in the second half, just with a different striker. And guess what? No shit, Sherlock. The same problems occur. The football is still dreadful. Souček and Rice are still playing 5 yards in front of our centre-backs. We just played into the hands of Eze, Olise and Zaha. They don't mind having to play in tight spaces outside the box. Arguably, that's where they're at their best. Just not good enough at all. And then we got a penalty with 5 minutes to go, and I'll be on, well, 10 minutes to go. I was laughing my arse off at the fact that it was even given, to be honest. And I was thinking, bloody hell, if this is allowed to stand, then it's a bit of a piss take. But what is Antonio doing? That dive is disgraceful. It's not... I don't want to see stuff like that from West Ham or against West Ham. I hate it. It's like Kevin De Bruyne against Fulham yesterday. Piss off with your cheating. Antonio was just cheating. A tiny little... on his shorts, and all of a sudden he goes down like he's been shot in the head from somebody in the Bobby Moore stand. And to be fair, I think there's probably people in the Bobby Moore stand wouldn't mind shooting him in the head at the minute, or David Moyes for that matter. But down he goes. Obviously it gets overturned. But what's that about? This is how bad it's got. At home to, again, with respect, at home to Crystal Palace, we're diving around trying to cheat our way to wins. It's just not good enough whatsoever. That was horrific football. This is how we played when Moyes first rocked up. The difference is we were in a relegation battle. I could understand Moyes playing like we did when he first come in, trying to keep us outside the relegation zone, keep it tight at the back. Not today. Piss off. I'm not having that today. It's just not good enough. It's really, really not good enough today. And then we get on to the Crystal Palace goal. I mean... He did this at Selhurst Park. I could be wrong about this. I'm 90% certain in my head it was Selhurst Park Antonio did this. I think we were winning. I think we were 2-1 up. And he got the ball in the corner and he crossed it to the goalkeeper. They went down the end. I think it was Zaha got the equaliser at Selhurst Park and it finished 2-2. I could be wrong about that, though. But he definitely did it. And I'm like that. But again, today, Antonio picks the ball up. He's in a good position. We are flooding forward. We've got numbers in, but there's maybe 5 players running into that 18-yarder, understandably. So let's try and get a winner. Here we go. Everybody's piling into the box. It's the worst cross ever. It's aimed at nobody. He's got no power. It's not. There's not one good thing about that cross. He just dinks it into Gaeta's hands. What the hell is that all about? And then as soon as it's thrown out, we're under the cosh. Out to Eze. Rice is backtracking. Gets out to Olise. Don't let him cut in on his left foot. We all know what Olise wants to do. And Creswell makes a half-arsed attempt to block it, takes a deflection, which loops it into the corner. But it's a deserved win. It's a deserved win. Crystal Palace deserved that win tonight. Vienna's not going to walk away thinking, we mucked them off. What a robbery that was. There was no robbery there. They deserved that 3 points tonight. Well, there's 2 things. Crystal Palace deserved the 3 points. We deserve to lose. We deserved nothing from that game today. We've got nothing. It's not good enough. It is not good enough whatsoever. You can't discuss this game without discussing. I'm trying to avoid the David Moyes thing because I want to do it when I'm calmer. When I'm calmer to talk about it. I think when you discuss a topic like that, when you're worked up, it's not a good one. And I know I'm worked up. I know someone will say, "Oh, calm down. You're only annoyed because of the game." I know I am. It's not going to make me calm down. It's just going to make me more worked up kind of thing. But the whole Moyes thing, anybody that's still backing Moyes, and I haven't been Moyes out, but it's flipping difficult after that to not start to really really question it or move over to, if you think of it of a scale of 1 to 100, 100 being Moyes out and 0 being 100% Moyes in, it's difficult not to move to that side of the scale after tonight, because that tactics were absolutely embarrassing tonight. It was embarrassing. Was Paqueta good? No. Paqueta was crap today. But how is he meant to perform? You get this creative player in, then you just throw a shackle on him. This substitution, by the way, that one, I just knew when I saw that subs coming on, Lanzini and Downstreet, I just knew Benrahma was going off. It was either Benrahma or Paqueta going off. I actually, at one point, thought it would be both of them, because Bowen's untouchable. He was never going to take off Bowen. I'm surprised he took off Thomas Souček. That's one thing he did get right. Well done, Gaffer. You finally subbed Thomas Souček. Well done. Fantastic. Well done. You finally got Souček subbed off. But he took Benrahma off. The one player, well, as I say, it looked like he was going to do something. He did do something. He got the goal. At this point, it was 1-1. The only reason there's 1-1, Moyes, is because Benrahma has bailed you out and you're subbing him off. You could hear the reaction of the home fans there, booing him and singing Benrahma's song. But you could see Benrahma's face. He was furious because just before that sub got done, there was a nice little bit of link-up play, cut inside and stuff. And then there's subs away. He looked straight over, saw his number. You could just see his face go, fucking hell. Why am I going off? And this is just horrible. The one player that's in sort of good nick coming into this game. I'm trying to talk about this calmly, but this is as calm as I'm going to get. Individual performers. Kenner was shocking, weren't he? Flipping hell. I know I'm biased because I'm not convinced of him as a right back. From the very first game at right back against Wolves, I thought, nah. Offensively, fine. Actually, offensively, good. Again, today, going forward, good moments. But defensively, he's all over the place. He's crap at it. He's crap defending from a right back position. That one on Mitchell, I mean, he's lucky Mitchell doesn't go down. That's a hell of a lot more of a penalty than what Antonio got given. But what's he doing? You know, I'm actually not going to lay into Kerr too much for the goal that Crystal Palace scored, the first one. Because like I said, I think the problem is Dawson's pass. Dawson's pass is by far the biggest issue for me in there. But Kerr was just a shambles for 90 minutes defensively. He was just all over the place. Like I said, excellent going forward, but heart attack stuff from a defensive standpoint. The centre backs, I mean, early on, what was that? Dawson and Zaha was inside his own half, and Kurt Zouma was trying to play him offside, and Dawson had a Scooby where he was. You know, Dawson could see the foul. How he didn't get booked for that one, I don't know. But early on, Zaha had both centre backs guessing. Creswell, not good. Souček, it was bad out there. There's one pass in particular, and you'll all know what pass I'm talking about in the first half. He just belted it into the middle of the pitch. I think it was Decore picked it up. I'm just guessing, by the way, just because of where Crystal Palace players play. It was Decore or Schlupp. One of them would have picked it up, but they picked it up easily and just started running at us. Dives in for Decore outside the box. Decore just waltzes round him. Bowen should have been subbed. Bowen should have went off. Why was Benrahma the one taken off? Bowen, again, poor performance, left on the pitch again. Paqueta didn't get into the game. Benrahma scored a goal, didn't do too much else. Defensively, at one point, really iffy in the corner. Scamacca, no service, not good enough. Antonio comes on, looked a little bit better than Scamacca, actually started putting himself about, but cheated and then cost us a goal by his stupidity. That cross, there's there's little to no positives to come out of tonight's game. Usually, even if you lose, you can take some positives, whether it be individual players, bits of your game that's worked, whatever. Usually there's some positives you can take going forward. For this one, there isn't, is there? What can you possibly say today that was good? Declan Rice was okay. Pablo Fernandes had a good game. but even that, Fernandes has scored 2 goals on Thursday night. You'd imagine his confidence is quite high. We need a goal. And why is he not? Come on, Paqueta wasn't doing anything. It's just Moyes has got everything. Everything Moyes could have got wrong today, he's got wrong. And there was already a target on his back. And this was a big game for West Ham and a big game for David Moyes, because he's finally got Paqueta back in the team. Scamacca's been poor the last 3 games without him. Paqueta's back now. Is that going to unlock Scamacca? Well, no, it's not. But I'll tell you why. It's because of the tactics. The distance between Rice and Souček and Paqueta, and then Paqueta to Scamacca at times tonight, was alarming. It was huge. Palace played us off the park on their own turf. Their first away win this season. It's just not good enough. It really is not good enough. And, David Moyes has been losing supporters week by week by week, and he's going to have lost a lot tonight. David Moyes would have lost a lot of support for today. Anybody that was, and I include myself in this, anybody that was unsure, anybody that was neither Moyes in or Moyes out, anybody that was sort of deciding, if you like, David Moyes has made it difficult today, because he's going to push a lot of people toward, like I said, the scale thing. Moyes is going to push a lot of people towards Moyes out after that performance, because that is not good enough. That we weren't even unlucky. I can accept losing games. We've lost games this season already, and I've not been that pissed off. But today was different. Today feels really, really different compared to the other defeats. The football was terrible, and everything was poor today. That's all I can say, really. Anyway, well, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to leave it there. Not a happy Gio, not a happy Hammer. I'd imagine there'll be angrier West Ham fans than me tonight. There's going to be a lot of sort of analysis done on the game, and also David Moyes going into this one. And we've got the World Cup break coming up, which, I said this at the start of the season, not necessarily in reference to David Moyes, just about the Premier League in general. This season is different. Because of this World Cup period, it gives clubs the perfect opportunity to sack their manager if they want, because the new manager can come in and they've essentially got a pre-season. That's not happened before. This Premier League season is completely different. And for what it's worth, I don't think Moyes will get sacked today. I don't think he's going to get sacked tomorrow. Moyes will be in charge for the Leicester game. Okay, I'm very confident Moyes, like 99% confident, Moyes will be the manager for the Leicester game next Sunday. Whether you want him or not doesn't matter. He will be. However, if we were to lose next Sunday against the Leicester team that are looking very good at the minute, we're going into that World Cup break, and we could be in the bottom. We could be in the bottom 3, but not only that, the pressure on Moyes would be humongous going into that one. Should we lose the Leicester one? And this is where the season's different for a lot of reasons. But for the first time ever, I think has presented clubs the perfect time to sack your manager. So the new guy comes in and he's got that period to work with the team ahead of the players returning for Boxing Day. But anyway, I'm going to disappear now. If you enjoyed this review somehow, please do drop a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll catch you then.